The true COVID infection picture in New South Wales will become more accurate and glaring tomorrow after the government pressed go today on the uploading of positive rapid antigen test results to the Service New South Wales app. Mid-afternoon today, more than 50,000 positive results had already been posted, with 55 early this evening. Now, that's an incredible number. And if you fail to upload those results, you'll be facing a $1,000 fine in New South Wales. The Premier insisted today that despite the spike in daily tallies, the state will get through this and be stronger. I spoke with New South Wales Customer Service Minister Victor Dominello earlier, and I asked him if the government was prepared for the overwhelming response today.
We're always grateful when the public responds en masse like they have. We've seen that right throughout the pandemic when we ask people to check in with their service app and then using their vaccine certificate and the like. So it is a pleasant surprise as always.
Now, people who don't report their positive test results are facing a $1,000 fine. It is almost impossible to police this stuff though, isn't it?
Oh, look, I agree, Chris. But the government was faced with two options. One, we say that there will be a fine to encourage people, particularly those that are thinking of being complacent, to do the right thing, not just by themselves, but by the broader community, or not to issue a fine and then send the wrong message that we're not taking it seriously. But you're right, I accept that it's going to be very hard to enforce and police. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we're relying, as we have done for the last few years, on the goodwill of the people of our state.
So, in effect, tomorrow, the daily infection results could be as much as 120,000, maybe even more. Is that the kind of indication that you require? Or is this whole exercise an exercise in linking people who have become positive with help?
It's both, Chris. So health need the information because, the more information that health have, the better we will be able to, more broadly, to navigate our way through these challenging times. And second is to your point, and it's arguably the more powerful point, if we can get people to register, and that's why we really want people to register, because in that group of people, there will be those that have pre-existing ailments. There'll be those that are pregnant. There'll be those that have conditions that really do require more attention. And if you register, we can connect you better to health services.
Now, with these kinds of uploads, and presumably once word gets out that the app is available for this kind of process, is it prepared to handle the contingencies of that load? Like, has it broken down yet? And are you expecting it to break down?
Well, we've load tested it for up to 200,000 a day, so far so good. And look, we are quietly confident that from a load capacity in terms of the app, it should be okay.
There will be some in the community, including commentators, who'll look at the overall infection numbers on a daily basis and panic. Some in the community may do the same. But I guess we've got to look at how steep that ICU curve is trending upwards, right?
Correct, Chris. Like from day one, I've been a member of the COVID committee from day one, literally from day one. And, we've always focused on the ICU numbers because ultimately it's about keeping people safe. Now, with COVID, particularly as it's morphed into Omicron, we're now looking at the other ancillary issue, and that is, knocking a whole lot of people out of service because they were a contact. And that's how, collectively through National Cabinet, we're tweaking that system as well. But look, the bottom line is we're trying to keep as many people safe as we can. And on any objective measure, we've got one of the lowest rates of death as a result of COVID around the world. And that's because of the great people of our state getting to 95% plus vaccination rate.
I keep hearing from hospitality operators who say this is worse than lockdown in terms of not having customers and certainly not having staff. Is there anything the New South Wales government will do, can do, to prop up these businesses? I know we're going back to where we were in 2020, but these are dire times for these businesses.
Yeah, well, the best, and I heard Luke Mangan last night, and he was spot on. It's about confidence because people are not going there because of a confidence issue. But I think once we get past the peak of the wave, then we will start seeing confidence coming back and very, very fast. But I know, because the Premier said as much this morning, that the Treasurer, Minister Ayres, and a number of other colleagues are looking at what they can do in terms of assistance.
You mentioned the wave. When is that peak likely to hit? What are you hearing from the health team about that date? Because everyone's talking about it. When are we going to get through this rubbish?
I think that because we've now got the RAT results that can be onboarded, I think health will be in a clearer position in the next 3 or 4 days. They'll have a better indication as to where they think that peak is. And I'm hoping that it's very, very soon. And likewise, in the way that it was a rapid escalation up, equally a rapid escalation down. That's what we're all hoping.
And you're still standing firm, the committee, I mean, in terms of kids getting back to school day one, term one?
Absolutely. The Premier made that very, very clear this morning. Like, if you look at the World Health Organization, experts right around the world are saying, we've got to make sure that kids' education is not jeopardised in any way. Now, as the Premier again said this morning, we've got to make sure equally that kids can go to school in a safe environment, that teachers can go to school in a safe environment, and we're working through that right now.
And will we have enough RA tests for schools to use to ensure that they can quickly test and get a result for kids? Well,
my understanding is, Chris, that there is a boatload, literally, of tests coming in next week in the order of 50 million. It reminds me very much of what happened at the beginning of the Alpha wave when we were scrambling to get masks. And then within about a week or so, there were too many masks in many ways, like they were giving away like confetti. And I imagine the same will apply with the rapid antigen tests.